Have you ever been so close to failure that giving up felt like the only option? That was the exact moment John Cena faced inside WWE. He was on the verge of being fired. Fans didn't care, management lost hope, and Cena himself thought about walking away forever. But instead of quitting, he turned his darkest day into the foundation of his greatest comeback. And that's why today, John Cena isn't just a wrestler. He's a legend of resilience, loyalty, and never giving up. So before we dive deep into this powerful story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up and tell us in the comments. Do you believe that failure can actually be the start of success? When John Cena first walked into WWE in 2002, the company saw him as a young talent with potential. But the truth is, nothing clicked. His debut match against Kurt Angle was impressive. Yes, he showed fire, passion, and strength. But after that, the momentum died. Crowds didn't cheer for him. His ruthless aggression character looked forced. Week after week, Cena appeared on TV, but fans stayed silent. Behind the curtain, things were even worse. WWE's management began to lose faith. Superstars like The Rock, Stone Cold, and Brock Lesnar were drawing huge reactions, but Cena? He was fading into the background. Within months, the conversation started. Maybe we should release John Cena. He just doesn't connect with the audience. And the harsh reality? Cena himself could feel it. He wasn't getting opportunities, his character wasn't working, and for the first time, he thought maybe wrestling wasn't his future. He had worked his whole life to reach this stage, but now he was on the verge of losing it all. The locker room whispers, the cold response from the fans, and the pressure from WWE management all combined into one painful thought. What if this dream was never meant for me? This was the lowest point in Cena's career. The moment when quitting seemed like the easiest choice. By late 2002, John Cena's dream was hanging by a thread. He had gone from being the new hopeful star to being the guy nobody cared about. His matches were fine, but they didn't stand out. His promos felt flat. The audience simply didn't react. And in WWE, no reaction is the worst reaction. Week after week, Cena would walk back through the curtain and hear nothing but silence from the crowd. For a performer, that silence is louder than any boo. It cuts deeper than words. Backstage, the whispers grew louder. He doesn't have the charisma. He's too generic. We might have to let him go. For Cena, this wasn't just about losing a job. It was about losing the dream he had worked his whole life for. He remembered the long nights training in tiny gyms, the sacrifices, the endless rejection letters before WWE finally gave him a chance. And now, it was all slipping away. One night, after yet another disappointing show, Cena sat alone in the locker room. The thought crossed his mind. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should just quit. It was a breaking point. A moment of despair that every champion faces in their journey. Cena was right there. One decision away from leaving wrestling forever. What he didn't know was that fate was about to give him one last chance. And it would change everything. Fate works in mysterious ways. During a WWE tour in late 2002, wrestlers were killing time on the bus. Some were joking, others were singing, and Cena, he started freestyling. Rhymes rolled off his tongue, quick, sharp, funny, and clever. The other wrestlers were shocked. This quiet guy who was about to be fired suddenly had a voice, a rhythm, a personality that nobody had seen before. Word quickly spread backstage. One day, on WWE's Halloween-themed show, Cena dressed up as Vanilla Ice and performed a rap promo. The crowd loved it. For the first time, he got a reaction. Laughter, cheers, even boos, but it was something. That rap segment was supposed to be a one-time joke. But for Cena, it became the seed of a brand new character. The Doctor of Thugonomics. Baggy jerseys, chains, backward caps, and most importantly, freestyle raps aimed at his opponents. Suddenly, the same fans who ignored him were hanging on to his every word. Whether they loved him or hated him, they reacted. And in wrestling, reaction is everything. What WWE almost threw away, freestyle saved. Cena went from the guy about to be released to the guy who had something different. This spark of creativity, this rap gimmick, didn't just save his career. It gave him a new identity, one that would eventually carry him to the very top of the company. As John Cena's rap gimmick gained popularity, something bigger began to happen. He was no longer just the Doctor of Thugonomics. He was connecting with fans on a personal level. His rhymes weren't only funny insults. They were sharp, fearless, and carried a message of confidence, self-belief, and defiance. By 2004 to 2005, Cena's character started to evolve. The chain gang, the jerseys, the attitude. It all represented a fighter from the streets who never backed down. Fans related to him because he wasn't pretending to be a superhero. He was real. He was one of them. He wasn't pretending to be a superhero. He was real. He was one of them. But as his popularity grew, WWE knew they had found something special. Cena began moving away from just raps and jokes into a larger-than-life figure. The man who stood for 3 words that would define his entire career: hustle. Loyalty, respect, hustle. The idea of working harder than anyone else, never taking shortcuts, always fighting for every inch. A loyalty, standing by your friends, your fans, and your values, even when it's difficult. Respect, earning recognition not by words, but by actions and achievements. These values weren't just slogans. They became Cena's identity. Whether fans cheered him or booed him, they respected what he stood for. He turned into a symbol of resilience, someone who refused to give up, no matter the odds. It was this transformation that carried him from being a gimmick character to becoming the face of WWE by the mid-2000s. The same John Cena who once sat in the locker room ready to quit was now climbing towards superstardom. The freestyle raps had opened the door. The values of hustle, loyalty, respect gave him a foundation. And now, WWE needed a new hero. Someone who could carry the company after The Rock and Stone Cold had moved on. That hero was John Cena. He won the United States Championship, using his charisma and rap skills to connect with the He won the United States Championship, using his charisma and rap skills to connect with the audience. But his true turning point came in 2005 at WrestleMania 21, when he defeated JBL to win his first WWE Championship. In that moment, John Cena officially transformed from the underdog almost fired into the face of the company. Crowds erupted. Kids wore his merchandise. His slogan, "Never give up," became a global message. But what made Cena unique wasn't just his victories inside the ring. It was how he handled failure and criticism. Fans sometimes booed him, sometimes cheered him. Critics called him overrated. But Cena never backed down. He stood tall, embraced the noise, and kept showing up every single week. From being a step away from being released, he had become the franchise player. The superstar WWE could build its entire future around. His story was no longer about survival. It was about leadership, perseverance, and inspiring millions to never give up, no matter how close they were to failure. John Cena's journey is more than a wrestling story. It's the story of a man who was on the verge of being fired, who sat alone in the locker room thinking his dream was over. And yet, he refused to quit. He found a new way. He reinvented himself. He turned failure into fuel and doubt into determination. That's why his slogan, "Never give up," isn't just words printed on a t-shirt. It's a philosophy. It's the reminder that every setback can become a setup for a greater comeback. Think about it. Cena could have walked away in 2002. If he had, the world would never have seen the legend he became. Millions of fans would never have been inspired. And WWE might never have found its franchise player for the next generation. His story proves one thing: failure is not the end. It's a test. And if you keep pushing, keep fighting, and refuse to give up, your lowest point can become the start of your greatest victory. So whenever life knocks you down, remember John Cena's words: never give up. And that was the day John Cena almost quit wrestling. A moment that could have ended his career forever. But instead, it became the turning point that created a legend. From silence in the crowd, to being on the chopping block, to becoming the face of WWE. Cena's journey reminds us that every failure hides a lesson, and every struggle is an opportunity to rise stronger. Have you ever faced a moment when giving up seemed easier than moving forward? Share your story in the comments below, because your words might inspire someone else who's fighting their own battle. And if you believe in never give up, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next powerful story we bring you. Remember, legends are not born in victory. They are created in the moments when the world doubts them, and they choose to fight anyway. This is John Cena's story. This is the power of resilience. And this is the true meaning of never give up.